Hey up guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. Even if you signal left, I don't trust you. I'm still going to wait till you've passed me. I can use my discretion if I want to. Yes. Yes, I could have gone. Yeah, that car was coming straight on. But even if that car were signalling left, it was still my discretion, and I would have chosen to stay where I were at that giveaway. I still wouldn't have trusted that car driver. So, although, yet again, I'm sure on your test, you know, when it comes to actually taking your full, you know, your full test, I'm sure you'd at least get a minor for that, for hesitation. If a car, well, any road user's got their left signal on for turning left, and if you don't actually go, if it's perfectly clear, I'm sure you'd get marked down for that. Some sort of like, it'd come under like some sort of like hesitation, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? So, you know. Yeah, anyway guys, that were a little bit of a distraction there to talk about, a little bit of a detour. I went off on a tandem a bit there. Not that I need an excuse to go off on a tandem and waffle anyway, but there we go. So yeah, anyway, yes, proper now, welcome back to the channel. You're with me, the Autistic Biker. So, I'm going to do this in a couple of few parts. I don't know how many parts there is going to be, because I don't know how many parts exactly yet. Points I do actually want to make and talk about. I've got them written down on a piece of paper inside motorcycle jacket pocket. But without looking at a piece of paper, I don't know. But I think there's 4 or 5. But I wanted to revisit, and I say revisit because I've already done a video on this particular subject before. But what it were is the one video were like 40 odd minutes long or something like that. So I wanted to do it like in a couple of few, you know, several points. Yeah, just so that I can make each video a lot shorter. So my point is there'll be a lot more, well, hopefully you will be a lot more likely to watch them rather than one whole big 40-minute video. I think that's if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you might like one whole big 40-minute video, I don't know, but like my last one. But I want to talk about these EVs, electric vehicles, but you know, even more to the point, electric motorcycles, which is, yes, still classed as an EV, electric vehicle. So 100% fully electric motorcycles, right? So, and there's going to be several points that I'm going to get at throughout, you know, within multiple videos. So the first point I want to make is the charging range, and before I go into it, I just want to say, although it might be a bit too late for me, which is why I should have said it maybe right at first before I even mentioned I want to talk about electric vehicles, and even more to the point, the charging range. I should have really said, don't roll your eyes up to the back of your head. Don't roll your eyes up to the ceiling by thinking, oh god, another motor vlogger who's talking about electric vehicles, you know, fully electric motorcycles. But even more to the point, even more to the point, you know, is bringing up the same common as muck point again about the charging range infrastructure. The infrastructure ain't there yet, and there ain't enough charging ports or points, if you like, whatever you want to refer to them as. Not another one that's going to mention about all the charging range and infrastructure and blah de blah of them. Because to be honest, to be fair, no, I'm not. I'm not going to. What I mean is, I'm not going to very typically bring up what every single motor vlogger and even just YouTuber talking about EV seems to bring up, which is the charging range. There isn't enough points and ports and the infrastructure isn't there yet, and there isn't enough. So don't worry, this is going to be quite refreshing. I'm not going to bring up the same old crap as what people talk about, which I've got to admit, yeah, it's as common as muck, innit? It's got to be common as muck. But I am still going to touch on a little bit of the, the charging range to do with them. But this is where I'm going to come at it at a different angle by being a little bit like refreshing. So let's just state facts, which I know is as common as muck, yeah. But I'm going to stay on this track for as very short as possible. As we all know, there isn't enough charging points, charging ports available yet, nowhere near. That's it, done. So now, proper going off that common as muck track, and really going on my sort of like bit of a refreshing, unique track. So because there isn't nowhere near as enough, charging points to charge your EV up, electric vehicle, I think if you were to get one, or for those people who have got one already, tell me if I'm right or tell me if I'm wrong, because I can't really say something is a 100% stone cold fact and I know what I'm on about, I'm Mr. Big Shot, for when I haven't actually lived and breathed, bought one, and I don't own one, and I'm not riding one at the minute. One isn't in my current life situation, so therefore how can I possibly say that what I'm on about, I'm Mr. Know-It-All, I'm Mr. Big Shot, what I say goes, and I'm right, and I can't be ever proven wrong and all this lot. Which is why I'm being humble and down to earth, and I'm asking you guys, if you have got one, you tell me if yes, I'm right on this, or no, you're wrong. You're either going to say, no, to be fair, that ain't how it affected me, or that isn't how it affects me for when I used to have one, or for when I've still got one now. Or you're either going to say, yeah, you're absolutely bang on, well done, even though you ain't got one. So by putting you sending like other electric vehicles owners, boots if you like, you do still kind of know what you're on about, Nick, and that's fine. So I believe that the problem, there's 2 points actually I want to make, 2 problems that come with there isn't enough like charging points to do with if you've got an electric vehicle, right? It's the same principle, right, as in if you enter a new road, let's say, from an existing road that you've been on, and you've got a reducing speed, and on that reducing speed sign you've also got a speed you've also got a speed camera sign that's warning you of speed cameras on that road that will get you. So what you're doing is it puts you in that mindset, mind frame mentality if you like, of you're always like this, looking down, looking back up, looking down, looking up, looking down, looking up. So you're always looking at your speedometer, your speedo clock, right? Because you don't want to, get a fine. You don't want to either get fines, a fine, or points on your licence. So you're constantly in this sort of like nail biting position, and that's the mindset it puts you in. Because I've been there myself, and I know it does. It gets you looking at your speedo all the time. But the only thing with that is, that's all well and good, you looking at your speedo, because you don't want to get a fine or points. But for whenever you're fixating and watching your speedo, your speedometer clock like a hawk, you ain't got your eyes on road. Yes, I know for a fact you knew what were going to come there. I know. I'm not trying to be impressive or blow you away with very unique facts, because they're not. They are absolute common as muck facts, or common as muck things that I'm stating. I know. I'm no Mr. Big Shot, I'm no know-it-all. I know what I'm saying now has been absolutely over-fried, just over-grilled, completely. It's just completely cheesy now, and it's common as muck, I know. But I'm just saying, as I'm sure you've heard it, if you had £1 for every time you've heard that, you'd probably be quite rich and wealthy. Yeah, I get it, I know. Not trying to impress no one or anything. I'm in no state to impress anyone, but as anyone knows it, you've got your head down at clock, you're not looking at road, next minute, bang. Enough said. All I have to say, to not waffle on, is bang. You know what I mean by that? If I say bang, enough said, you've got it, yeah? You get the point. You know what I'm trying to say by just saying bang, yeah? So really going back on track now, tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I just believe that without much more, thousands and thousands of much more electric charging points, being put in every, if not almost every petrol station that there is, or even to have their own proximity, I believe that it will be the same principle of an effect, if you like, the same, it'll put you in the same mindset, as in, you're always watching your speed. So in other words, because you know that, well, that's the point in it, because you don't know, actually, I should have said, because you actually don't know how long it will probably be until you come across a next charging port, or even if you do know, but it's absolutely miles away to a point where you honestly, realistically don't know if your electric motorcycle honestly is going to make it to that charging port. So with that in mind, I believe, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, but would it not put you in that same mind frame as watching your speedo, where you're constantly watching like either your balls or your electric gauge going down in whatever it's calculated in, whether if it's numbers, letters, bars, notches, a percentage amount remaining left, whatever you name it, that's irrelevant. So therefore, just like you're like this watching your speedo, I don't want to get a fine, I don't want to get points. The same principle would apply, I think, to do with, oh god, last time I checked it we're on 75%, now it's gone down to, I don't know, whatever percent. It's going down very quickly, very rapidly. I don't know when next charging port's going to be, or I do know, but it's so many mega miles away to a point where it's already gone down from that percentage to that percentage, and I've only done so many miles within so many percentage of it going down. damn it, I don't think I'm going to make it. So therefore, if it's going to put you in that mindset, you're always going to be like this looking at it. So to the point where, and all I've got to say again is, bang. Enough said. So it took your concentration away from having your eyes on that road, from having your eyes on that road ahead. So therefore, because it's took your undivided attention away from having your eyes on front, you know, your eyes watching road in front of you, you haven't gave that road, same as any other road user, that 100% undivided attention. So all your concentration and your attention on what should be on the road to do with other road users and even pedestrians and just you name it, anything and everything else, you name it, you won't have your eyes on that road. So next minute, there we go, enough said. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong, that even just by being in a nail-biting position where you're thinking, I don't know for when my next meal is going to be, I'm going to starve. In other words, I don't know for when the next charging port is going to be, or even if I do, it's miles away. I really got a feeling I'm not going to make it. I believe that could actually be psychologically, mentally for your head, a lot more dangerous coming from a very open mind, thinking with a very open mind, a lot more than what, you know, people and the government and the whole system actually thinks it's going to be. Now, if I'm being a drama queen and you know, a hypochondriac, then be honest with me, don't hold your punches and just tell me, just say, yeah, you're being a bit too daft, Nick, you're going a bit too far, if I'm honest with you, mate. I wouldn't say it's that bad. Then fair enough, tell me, don't hold your punches. I do not disable any comments. I do not hold them for review before one comes flooding in for me to approve it or decline it. I don't have a team, like an admin team or whatever like that, working for me or with me or whatever. I don't disable any comments. Like I said, I'm a one-man bandit. Just be honest with me and just tell me. Don't hold your punches, don't, yeah? Just tell me. That's all that's got to do. And also as well, there is a second point to this. I don't know if I mentioned it at first, but there is like a second point to this as well. The bank same principle applies to do with, you know, bank same thing to do with if you're not watching the road ahead, if you're looking at this constantly thinking, you know, fuel gauge is going more, well, electric charge is going more down and down and down, it could cause a potential accident. It really could. Apart from the accident side, it can still affect, I believe, it can have a hindrance on your mental health. It can hinder the actual, the ability to actually strengthen your mental health. Simply because, right, how it works, a bike ride when it strengthens your mental health is, it strengthens your mental health because you're able to relax and meditate and look at the nice, scenery, views, you name it, anything and everything that you will be ordinarily seeing out there for when you're having a ride, right? Scenery, views, hilltops, caves, mountains, grass verges, banks, animals in fields, everything. All the sights, the sounds and the smells you pick up, all your senses, right, you name it, that you pick up, that you feel, that you sense when you're on a bike, okay? Through, as well, at the same time, total relaxation and meditation. That is how to really dive into it, to indulge into it, to elaborate on it a bit more further. That is how it strengthens your mental health, right? To do with fresh air as well, all blasting up until, your nasal passages, your nostrils, into your lungs, everything, and all that good stuff, you name it. However, my point is I'm going back on track. So, because you've got your eyes constantly fixated on your electric fuel gauge, your electric charge, whatever gauge, going down in whatever form it's going to be measured in. Like I've said it before, percentage, bars, notches, numbers, letters, whatever, right? I don't know, because never owned one. So whenever you're doing that and you're fixating on it, same as your speedo clock, do you know what I mean? You're also not giving your body, mentally and physically, the meditation, respect and time and commitment, the commitment and respect that it deserves in order to make you meditate, relax, to strengthen your mental health. Because you're constantly worrying and you're giving all your time and effort, and it's exhausting you on all your, that electric charge has gone more down and down, last time I looked at it, it were on this, but now I've looked at it, it's on this number or this percentage or this and that, damn it. So therefore, by going off like that, how on earth can you actually, psychologically, mentally in your head, how can you possibly on earth enjoy a motorbike ride to be able to strengthen your well-being and your mental health, for your mental clarity and for your whole soul and your well-being, for your heart and mind and your soul? Because the government shitheads, the system has put you in this position, same as the speed camera finds and points and speedo principle. They've gone and put you in this position of, charge, damn it, charge, damn it. It was on 75% last time I checked. Now I've looked within space of just so many minutes or miles or whatever, God, it's gone all the way down to that bar or that percentage, damn it. So therefore, you're missing all this heavenly glory. I rest my case. That's my point. It's like Bruce Lee said, isn't it? It's like Bruce Lee said, don't concentrate on the finger being your speedo, or in other words, your even motor point, your electric, charge gauge, whatever. Don't concentrate on the finger, on the, electric charge, because you will miss all that heavenly glory. In other words, that. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys, for this first point that I've made on, you know, why I don't really particularly like electric vehicles, even more to the point, you know, fully electric motorcycles. I'm going to leave it there. So obviously this is, of course, this is part one. If you are riding, remember, ride safe, watch out for them other idiots out there on road. You've been with me, the Autistic Biker. It's been a pleasure, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-ra, see you later. Bye bye.